Throw it down, big man.
Welcome everybody back to the Throw It Down Big Fella podcast. I'm your host, Greg Rufus. Happy holidays. As you can see, I have the lovely tree right next to me. It's the holiday season, you guys. Tis the season for giving, but I am here, you guys. I hope you guys are having a wonderful holiday coming up. This is, of course, Christmas, New Year's Eve, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, any one of those holidays you celebrate. I hope it's a wonderful time. You spend time with your family, friends, loved ones. It's going to be, I'm just excited for this holiday season. I actually get Christmas off, so I'm excited to get that off and just happy holidays to everybody, especially you guys for having this podcast, and just thank you for enjoying this with me and being patient with me as I continue to journey on in this new chapter in my life. On this episode, you guys, we're going to talk about the Memphis Tigers defeating the Clemson Tigers last Saturday. What an epic win that was. I'll break all that down. Of course, they got a big week coming up starting tomorrow. As I'm recording this tomorrow, they play Virginia at Virginia. And, of course, the big game this Saturday morning, coming up this Saturday morning against Mississippi State here in Memphis. That should be a good game. I'm going to be there. Other people are going to be there. It's going to be a great time. So I'll preview what's going to happen this week for the Memphis Tigers basketball team. The Memphis Tigers football team, they play tonight in the Scooters Coffee Cup against Scooters Coffee Bowl game against West Virginia. This is Seth Hennigan's last game as as a quarterback for college football. So it should be fun. Hopefully he gets to the NFL. So I'll preview that as well. The Memphis Grizzlies, they are not in the NBA Cup final. Of course, that's OKC and the Milwaukee Bucks, but they had two games this past week. They had a Brooklyn game, and of course, they had the Lakers game. I'll break all that down as well. And also NFL stuff. The college football bowl game season has started. It is so much stuff going on, you guys. But before I get into all that, I ask you guys to please subscribe to my podcast at Throw It Down Big Fella on YouTube. Just one click away. Thank you so much for you guys for all of my subscribers. And hopefully for this year and also for next year, it could continue. And I just hope you guys are still with me from this amazing journey. So thank you all very much, and love and support. Please follow on YouTube at Throw It Down Big Fella. All right, let's get into it. Let's start off with the Memphis Tigers men's basketball team. Of course, they went on the road, defeated number 16 at that point, Clemson, 87-82, and went to overtime. Tyrese Hunter, he's so good. He's so good. He had 23 points. He had a clutch three, a couple clutch threes, and they went on to win the game against a very gamed Clemson team early in the morning, 10 a.m. My thought process was, how are they going to respond to a great team early in the morning on the road? It was a great test. It was a great test for Penny Hardaway and his team, but they overcame that, and they actually end up winning. This is, I think, and I said this to many people, many of my friends, this 4-game stretch that Penny Hardaway is on, it's so important. So important. I think this is probably the best test he's ever had as a college coach coming up. I mean, he has, of course, he just beat Clemson. He has Virginia tomorrow. Now, we know Virginia is kind of down this year. They're not as good as, in years past. They're 6-4 right now. But it's going to be a very, very intriguing matchup. Memphis was not ranked going into that game against Clemson last Saturday, but now they're ranked. They're ranked 21st. That should be a very physical barn burner. You know how Virginia's defense is smothering. So I fully expect, of course, the Memphis Tigers to win that game and get ready for this marquee Mississippi State Memphis game on Saturday morning on CBS, nationally televised. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. I wish Mississippi State was still ranked. They should have still been ranked. I mean, they only have one loss. The fact that they got out of the top 25 Clemson's still in there. I can agree to disagree on that, but the fact that Mississippi State is not ranked, it's crazy to me. And you would it would be so good for the Memphis and Mississippi State to both be ranked. It's still going to be a great game. Don't take it the wrong way. It's still a great game. But I just felt Mississippi State was slighted. I mean, they won their game, although it was close against McNeese State, but they still won that game. And the fact that they're out of the top 25 and only have one loss, that's kind of unfair. But I still expect it to be a great game. And of course, not to look too much ahead, but next Saturday, the 28th, Memphis plays Ole Miss again at the Forum. So these are some marquee games coming up. These three games coming up, like I said, are very crucial. And not to add FAU. FAU will be back. They play FAU January the 2nd at FAU, and then they come back and play North Texas back at home. So some tough stretch games coming up for Penny Hardaway. Let's just see how this plays out, because of course we all know what happened last year and how epic a meltdown that was for Penny Hardaway last year. Did he learn? Did he change? Did he adjust? Like, how was he gonna get this team to not do what they did last year? And that was just completely wet the bed. Completely went AWOL, didn't do what they're supposed to do. The stretch between February and March was one of the most colossal things I've ever seen as a Memphis Tiger fan. Let's hope that doesn't happen. Let's continue to guide Penny Hardaway, because he has a really good team. This might be the best shooting team Memphis Tigers I've seen in a very long time. They can shoot the ball. They can shoot, and they got playmakers, and they're offensively great to watch. They're pleasing to the eye to watch. So they got they're fully loaded with Mississippi State coming up Saturday. So I'm excited for the game. I will be there. Friends will be there. It should be jam packed. It should be a great atmosphere. So go Tigers, go. Let's see how they respond this Saturday against Mississippi State. All right, let's get into the Memphis Tigers football team. Their last game of the season is tonight on ESPN against West Virginia, who fired their coach. So let's see how motivated they will be, West Virginia. But Memphis, they're ranked 25. They're ranked 25. This is the last poll that came out. Ranked 25. They play in the Scooters Coffee Cup Bowl game. I'm bitter sad. I mean, this is Seth Hennigan's last game as a collegiate, and several other Memphis Tigers players on the football team. It's very sad. Hate to see such a great guy, and it feels like such a great human being as well. It's just sad to see him let this being his last game as a Memphis Tiger. So I'm excited to watch this game. It's a between this game and then the NBA Cup final, which I'm gonna get into later. It's just great to see such a guy that's, I think, just beat every record there is to be a Memphis Tiger quarterback. I mean, of course, we go down a list of like Memphis Tiger quarterbacks. I mean, there's some great ones, there's some not so good ones, and they're just quarterbacks that we don't want to mention. But Seth Hennigan, I feel like, is top 3, top 4 in that discussion. I mean, I'm here for argument. I'm here for debate. If you guys feel like he's not a top 2, top 3, what would you rank Seth Hennigan? Let me know in the comment section what you feel about Seth Hennigan, his career. Was it successful? How do you feel about this? How do you feel about tonight's game? Just I'm bittersweet, but I'm also excited to see what Seth Hennigan is going to do for the next chapter in his life. Is he going to go pro? Is he going to go overseas? Like, what's the future hold for him and several others? So I'll be looking forward to that, and also watching tonight's game. So go Tigers, go. All right, let's talk about the Memphis Grizzlies. Of course, they are not in the NBA Cup final, as I mentioned, but they had 2 games this past week. They had a game Friday night against the Brooklyn Nets. And how spicy was that game? Wow. I mean, of course, the Grizzlies won. They beat Brooklyn. But the shenanigans, I mean, a little bit of shenanigans, a little hoopla. John Moran hit a buzzer beater shot at the end of the first half, and he looked at the Brooklyn Nets head coach Jordy Fernandez, just stared at him and said, "Yeah, just trying to get him fired up." I mean, it's an old tactic But John Moran is just a different breed. I mean, he wants to get into folks' opponent's face. Like he wants to play that old school '90s. I don't care. Like I'm just gonna say what I want, do what I want, and we're not gonna be friends on the court. We could probably be friends off the court after the game, after the season, and all that. But I'm gonna say what I want to say, and I'm a troll. He basically paraphrasing what he said after the game, like he's basically trolling the Brooklyn Nets head coach. And of course, in the fourth quarter, as the game was dwindling down, the Grizzlies were comfortably about to win. He was talking a little smack to again to the coach, and then Dennis Schroeder chimed in, tried to get his little 5 cent and nickel comments in, and Taylor Jenkins was like, "You gonna let him talk to me like that, like right in front of the referees?" And that was a whole ruckus going on. What's funny about that is Dennis Schroeder got traded the day after. The day after all that scuffling and hoopla came out, Dennis Schroeder got traded to the Golden State Warriors, which I'm gonna be honest, it's a solid move. Dennis Schroeder is a good playmaker. He could shoot. He's one of those type of players you would want on your side as a player. He's good international. Of course, I love international Dennis Schroeder. Dennis Schroeder international when he's playing for Germany, like he's legit good. So the fact that the Warriors add another shooter, sorry that they had to get rid of former Grizzly DeAnthony Melton, who was I think out for the season or close to being out, but he was injured. Uh, I think it just helps out the Golden State Warriors again. The Lakers didn't make a move. I mean, they haven't made a move yet. Probably won't make a move. Let's just I'm put that in the future. But it's a solid move by the Warriors getting Dennis Schroeder. But the whole thing about the Brooklyn and Grizzly game Friday, just you know what's at stake. I mean, the fact that the Grizzlies, didn't really make the NBA Cup. I'm sure they probably wanted to. Some of them probably did. Some doesn't really matter. But it's just one of those things. I mean, I don't think it's necessarily wrong for John Morant to do it. I would have my personal opinion, I would poke at the players. I feel like Jordy Fernandez watching the Brooklyn Nets coach is not a bad guy. I just feel like he was in the fire. He was just caught in the fire, wrong place, wrong time situation. It's kind of like when you witness a crime and you're just right there. You're like, oh my God, like, what did I witness? That's what Jordan Fernandez was doing. I mean, Trae Young's showmanship was rolling dice, pretending to roll dice after the Knicks defeated, I mean, I'm sorry, the Hawks defeated the Knicks in the semifinals of the World Cup, and I mean that was disrespectful. What John Morant did wasn't as disrespectful. It was just showmanship. It was a little talking. Like every athlete. What athlete do you not know that doesn't talk? I mean, talking is just what they do. This is how they go. This is how they motivate themselves 9 times out of 10. So I'm not necessarily up in arms that John Morant did it. I just wish it was to somebody else instead of like the head coach, who I don't think really causes any problems. If he wants to do it to another typical head coach that talks too much, that all about themselves, that thinks that they're still a player, that might need a little talking to. I'm not really talking about nobody in particular. JJ Redick, I'm sorry, did that come out wrong? But I like JJ Redick, but boy, he's very brash and arrogant. I wish somebody would put him in his place sometimes. But I don't have a problem with John Moran doing all that talking and all that. I mean, I really don't. That's just how he is, who he is. I don't think it's going to change for nobody. So, shout out to John Moran. You in Memphis, so this is what the Memphis you get from him. So it is you see what you get. So shout out to John Moran and Memphis Grizzlies for their win against the Brooklyn Nets on Friday. Now Sunday, 180. So my personal thing is I felt like John Morant and the Memphis Grizzlies were taking a trip to LA, and they were just there. They were just there to enjoy the night out. I'd rather them just not play, like certain key players not play, because the way that they looked in the first half, it was by far the worst game they've had so far this year. They shot all-time low. I think it was like 29%. Don't quote me on that. It was very low, the lowest of the season. And of course, they made a little comeback, yada yada yada. LeBron James came back. He 2 games absence for his foot, which has been bothering him, and also personal stuff. But I feel like it was more tired and foot problems, and he came back, didn't miss a beat, had a breakdown, a dunk, fast break dunk, and a block on Desmond Bain. So that naysay that father times creep up to him, in the Warriors Elite Four, so not so fast. But his birthday is coming up next, well, a couple weeks from now, so he'll be the big 4-0. That's going to be interesting to watch, but. The Lakers defeated the Grizzlies, I believe 116 to 110. Nothing really to take from it. It's just a loss. I mean, I feel like if I was a head coach, if I was Taylor Jenkins and his coaching staff, I probably would just throw this film away. I just feel like the problem with the Grizzlies, with the Grizzlies and Lakers, the problem with the Grizzlies is Anthony Davis. Can you solve the Q problem that is Anthony Davis? He's a problem. He's going to be a problem. He just destroys us. We got to find a way to stop it or slow him down. Jaren Jackson Jr. cannot foul. And the one thing that just kills me about Jaren Jackson, he's so talented, so good. I just wish he would stop fouling. I just wish he would just, if he, stop, like, hands up like this. Hands up. Hands up. Stop reaching down. What's the purpose of reaching down? Hands up. Anthony Davis is so tall. His wingspan is huge. Like, hands up. In the words of the great musician Black Eyed Peas, hands up. Like, I hate that. And then it's like every time he goes down and gets a foul, it's like, oh my God, a foul. It's like, Jaron, we see it. There are cameras everywhere. We see how you just go down and foul him. Like, we see it. We love you. You're a great player. You had a really good game that Sunday. But I just feel like every time we play Anthony Davis or we play a big man like Joel Embiid, you gotta do better. We gotta do better defending him. And until we have a problem or a solution to Anthony Davis, he's gonna continue to kill us time after time after time again. And it's a matchup problem. I've heard speculations about, well, maybe the Grizzlies should, if they somehow were to meet the Lakers in the playoffs, avoid the matchup. That's a mismatch. Let's try to find somebody else to match up with. I wouldn't go that far yet because I, as a fan of both the Grizzlies and unbiasedly a fan of LeBron James, I would love to see that matchup, Grizzlies and Lakers in the playoffs. For my eyes and my aesthetic eye viewing, I would like to watch it. But for the Grizzlies, maybe they should. Maybe they should consider avoiding Lakers. Maybe the Nuggets, maybe some other teams they should avoid in the playoffs altogether. But look, the fan in me and other people around me, they want to see Grizzlies and Lakers. So look, it is what it is. But like I said, but Anthony Davis is a problem. He's the rhythmic cube you need to solve and figure out if you're the Grizzlies. How do you slow him down and make life easier for you to probably defeat this team? So what do you guys think? Grizzlies Lakers game Sunday. Was it just another game on the schedule, or is it something more deeper going on with the Lakers? And can the Grizzlies solve that problem? Let me know what you guys think up in the chat, and I will feel free to answer any questions that you may have. I love you guys so much. All right. Let's talk about the NBA World Cup Championship. It is tonight. It is in Las Vegas. It is the Milwaukee Bucks and the Oklahoma City Thunder. It was two great semifinals games. They had their semifinals games on Saturday. I said semifinals, but the Hawks and Knicks. I meant quarterfinals to get to the semifinals. But it was the Bucks and the Atlanta Hawks played in the game one of the semifinals on TNT. Of course, Giannis and Dame, those two together are just they're a great tandem. We know how they get down. The Milwaukee Bucks, you guys, they were left for dead in the beginning of the season. There was a lot of problems about, man, what is going on? Doc Rivers, the whole Doc Rivers shaboot. Me, along with my friend Darren, we do not like Doc Rivers. We think Doc Rivers is not as great as a coach as everybody thinks he is, but somehow, some way, and X Factor, Darvin Ham, former Lakers coach, is still undefeated in NBA World Cup play. Will that continue tonight against Oklahoma City Thunder? I want this to be a good game. I think it will be a good game. But if I'm going to be completely honest, I know it's Giannis. He's one of the best players in the league, and Damian, one of the best shot makers in NBA history, will go down as one of the greatest shot makers in NBA history. I think it's the Oklahoma City Thunder year. And I think not only do I think Oklahoma City can win this cup, win the game tonight, I believe they can probably win the NBA championship. And I think this team is very, very good. They're going to give the Grizzlies all the fits and problems of the world. I would like to see Oklahoma City and Memphis play possibly for the Western Conference Finals. I mean, that would be another dream matchup that I would want in the playoffs. But I think Oklahoma City gets the dub tonight. SGA, that move he put on Dylan Brooks, if you guys have not seen it, go to YouTube, just put on the search engine SGA moves on Dylan Brooks. Like, just unbelievable. I mean, the guy is just a shot maker. He's a playmaker. He is one of those guys that you want to watch on TV night in and night out. The team is so good. They play defense. They can give you offense whenever they need to. Jalen Williams is a star in the making, along with Lou Dorchers, I'm sorry, who's worked on this shot tremendously. He's such a shot maker now. Defense as well. SGA, you already know what he's about. And they're missing key pieces. The big guy, he's not there. And I'm completely blanking on his name right now. The big tall guy from Gonzaga. I'm completely blanking out on him. It's gonna kill me. But I believe Milwaukee's such a good team, and Giannis is such a great player, and Dame, like I said, and the people around. Shed Holmgren, duh, Shed Holmgren. He's not playing. So I think it's going to be a good game. The Bucks are favored by 4.5. The total is 215.5. If you want to add the Bucks to your money line and your parlays, one plus 175, I'm not mad at it. I just think I would take Oklahoma City to cover. I think they win by 6 points. I just think like if this team is so good and they're the future of the NBA, and thus being so you're the future of the NBA, I think it's time to flex your muscles just a little bit and show people just how exciting and good you really are. So I'm excited for tonight's game. It's in Las Vegas, 7:30 tonight on ABC. It should be a goodie, you guys. Should be really, really, really good. All right, let's get into some NFL Week 15 reaction going on. And I'm going to be honest, the Thursday night game that started off the Rams and the 49ers, what an ugly game that was. It was 12-6. I'm going to talk a little about my fantasy football, you guys. Cooper Kupp put a goose egg for me, 0, in one of my leagues that I'm in. And I'm thinking to myself, man, no targets, no catches, big time game. They still won the game, the Rams. Just very, very, very disappointed on that end, but they still won. Give credit when credit is due. It's National Football League. You never know what's going to happen. Fine, but I'm just so disappointed in Cooper. And I thought my season was over. I thought it was over, but I don't know how in the world I was able to defeat my good friend Marcus Hunter, who's the number one team in our playoffs. He didn't have a bye week, which that's debate that could be a debate for next year probably. But I ended up winning him upset. I'm an AC. I got a below 500 record. I beat him in fantasy football. Had that happened, I don't know. Also, I won in my other league. I'm in the semifinals in that. Great times. I'm excited. It's going to be a great matchup in that other league that I'm in, the ESPN league. It's going to be fun. But shout out to Cooper Kupp for that goose egg, 0. Shout out. I hope you don't do that again this week coming up. They play the Giants. No, the Jets. They play the Jets. So let's do better, Cooper. There's no more goose eggs. No more goose eggs. The main story, though, not talking about fantasy, is the linebacker for the San Francisco 49ers, Campbell, Devon Campbell. What was he thinking? I just feel like, my guy, like, read the room. You're an NFL player. You get paid. You get a contract. You got to get in the game. Now, if you're hurt, we get it. Understandable. You were not hurt. You were not hurt. Drake Greenlaw, who has been hurt the entire year, came back Thursday night and was swapping with the guy that's probably been there the entire year. He refused to go in the game. Walked out, walked to the locker room and left. Um, Coaches, players exiled him, say that he will be suspended and probably will not be back with the team. Will permanently will not be back on the team. It's just crazy. That whole situation is crazy. It's just disappointing, my guy. Like what would possess you to just leave? Do you think you're Antonio Brown? You think you're several other players that have walked out on the team and all? You're not going to get another playing situation ever again. You won't. You won't. You won't. But I feel like this could be a learning lesson for you. Maybe at some point you grow from this. Maybe he goes overseas or goes play somewhere else. But it's a bad look. It's a horrible look that you did. You let your team down. You let your fans down. You let your I would say family down. I mean, it's a bad look. It's a horrible look. I'm not gonna pile on even more longer, but I just feel like if there was help or if there's something that you need to get that. You need to seek the help of those around. Talk to our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, something, because it's unexcusable for you just not to go in. There's plenty of stuff in an everyday human that they don't want to do. They don't want to go to work. They don't want to do this and that. They don't want to do certain stuff, but we still have to do it. You still have to go in there. You still have to go and fight the good fight each and every day. This world that we live in, you still have to do it. You still have to live life, even though you don't necessarily want to do things all the time. And so, for that situation, I hope he can get the help and situation that he needs. And I hope whatever thing that he's going through, he overcomes all that and becomes a better man. But I don't know about future wise in the NFL. It's bad. It's really, really bad. So pray my prayers up to him and his family and situation and just get better, my guy. Just get better. Let's talk about some of the scores from this week. Baltimore defeated the Giants 35-14. If you remember, guys, this is like a 2000 Super Bowl uh, game, rematch, and I know times are different now. The Giants are not good, and they're gonna get a quarterback. They're gonna get a big time quarterback, probably Cam Ward. Oh, also shout out to Travis Hunter, winning the Heisman this year. Congratulations. I had that. I picked him to win. Genty is a great guy, great guy. But I will say this though. You're a great running back. You're at Boise State. I get all that. But I was preparing my speech. I was thinking I was going to win. Not a good look. Not a good look. I mean, I understand confidence. You want to be that guy. You want to be, yeah, I'm confident in my abilities through God has made. Okay, yeah, 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 yeah. I get all that. But at some point, confidence-wise, you can't say that publicly. Publicly, you cannot say I was preparing my speech, my game-winning speech for the Heisman. I have never heard anyone say that. Pre-game, I've never heard that spill come out before minutes before the presentation of the Heisman. I've never seen that. So you lost a lot of cool points from me. You're still a good player. Don't get me wrong. You're a great player. You're gonna probably be a great pro next year coming up. But that statement right there, that was like, man, like be a little humble. Humility can take us a lot of places in life, a lot of things. I could be confident and I could be cocky too, but I have to dial it back every once in a while. When I'm with my significant other, I want to showboat and brag and all that. But sometimes I'm like, you know what? For the better part of me and for the better part of her and everybody around me, I need to tone down, simmer down just a little bit. And GNT, you should have done that instead of flamboyantly say, "Yeah, I practiced my game-winning Heisman speech yesterday." Yeah, you should have toned it down, my guy. I don't. That's a bad look. But you're still a great player. Congratulations for your future endeavors. But I thought Travis Hunter just outrightly deserved that Heisman. So shout out to Travis Hunter and his fiance. I don't want to get too much into him and his fiance. Maybe on a later episode of this podcast, I might do that, but it's a lot of things going on. A lot of unwarranted conversations be had. The internet can be your friend, and it also can be your enemy. And in this situation, I feel like it's becoming an enemy for her. I don't like it. I don't like what she's going through. I hate what she's going through, her and her family. It's horrible. So my prayers are for, of course, Travis Hunter and his fiance, soon to be wife. Prayers up to her. Um, she explained a little bit yesterday, like I said, her detail of what happened, but that's an in-house matter that needs to be resolved between those two. So my prayers to that entire family. That's really all I can really add on to that. Okay, now back to the Ravens and Giants. Ravens great, Giants Cam Ward incoming. The Jets defeated the Jaguars 32 to 25. Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams are really good. They're really good, you guys. I mean, I can sit here and clown Aaron Rodgers, blah blah blah. I can. I can. It'd be too easy at this point with the way the season is going now. But here's an interesting thought, and I want you guys to ponder this. What if they bring it back next year? What if they just run back the entire team? They bring Aaron Rodgers back because the speculation is we don't know if Aaron Rodgers is going to play for the Jets next year. But what if they bring everybody back? What if they just bring Devontae Adams back? What if they just I don't know. They get a new coach, Mike Vrabel. Mm-hmm. I don't know. So that'll be interesting to see how they is, but they look good. They look like the Green Bay Packer days, those two. So they went in there in Jacksonville and won. Matt Jones. Sorry, you tried. You tried. They look good in those throwback uniforms, by the way, the Jags. Shout out to I think 95, 96, Mark Brunell, Fred, Taylor, who's the receiver? Fred, I said Taylor, Jimmy Smith, all of them. Shout out to the Jaguars team. That was an epic. Those jerseys were fire. The Cowboys defeated the Panthers. Why were the Panthers even betting wise? Why were they even favor of the Cowboys? I like Bryce Young. He's coming. Like he's getting much and much better improvement. But to say that they were better than the Cowboys, I know they have no Dak. I know they're hurt, and I know their season is kind of gone out the way, but they're still the Cowboys. Their defense is legit. Michael Parsons is a problem. Yeah, that would have been easy money to take the Cowboys money line. And it showed Michael Parsons is a problem. You know, if he's healthy, he's on point. Michael Parsons can be defensive player of the year. TJ, I still think it's TJ Watt to a certain extent, but man, Michael Parsons, man, he showed out and showed in. So nothing else to it. CD Lamb doing his thing. Shout out to CD, gave me that win on my fantasy football. The Commanders defeated the Saints 2019. This game got really, really interesting later on. I know they're saying it was a malfunction with the clock. It was like 9 seconds. And the clock froze up. I'm sorry. I was going for the Saints to win because if the Saints would have won, the Eagles would have won their division. They still have a chance this week coming up, but Jalen Daniels, rookie of the year, he's phenomenal. The Commanders are probably going to get a playoff spot at some point, if not this week, next week. So shout out to Jalen Daniels and that. Cincinnati went on to Tennessee and won 37-27. Will Levis, why is he still the quarterback of the Tennessee Titans? Why? 3 interceptions, 8 out of 12 for 3 picks. Like, come on. Why is he still? I think Mason Rudolph for the rest of the year, and the Titans have a decision to make. Do they move forward with Will Levis? Well, I don't know. I mean, time would tell. I don't know, but I just hate that Cincinnati is going to probably miss the playoffs, and their offense is so legit. They're so explosive. They're so good. T. Higgins coming back to Nashville. He went to a school up in Knoxville, and he showed in and showed out. So they're moving up. They're 6-8. The Kansas City Chiefs defeated the Cleveland Browns 21-7. The big news coming out of this is Mahomes' injury, high ankle sprain. They're saying more than likely, I would think if I'm Mahomes, I probably won't. I'm not going to play Saturday this coming up week. They have a Christmas game. Look, I know Netflix is paying like a whole bunch of money for this game, and they want Patrick Mahomes there. He's a star. They want Patrick Mahomes there. If I'm Patrick Mahomes, I'm not playing in that game. I'm not playing in that game. If me personally, I need to get ready. The bigger goal in life is, of course, to win the Super Bowl. So I'm not going to play, but I'm sure Netflix is going to probably get a special German doctor or whatever. Like, look, we need you to play. We spent a whole lot of money on you in particular to play this game. So interesting to see how they play this Mahomes injury out for the rest of the year. They're already the number one seed. They're going to be in the playoffs, of course. So let's see how they plays out. Houston squeaks by the Miami Dolphins 20-12. Tua had picked a wrong night, wrong day to have one of his worst games of his career. Um, I mean, they're still, Miami, they have a chance, a fighter's chance a little bit, but Tua thing, that's another. What do you do if you're Miami? You invested all this money in this guy, and it's just, I don't know. That'll be interesting for the off season what the Miami Dolphins do with Tua. All right, Colts and Broncos. Broncos won 31-13. The Broncos defense is legit. They're really good. Jonathan Taylor is a bum. I'm, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say he's a bum. That was a boneheaded play that Jonathan Taylor did. He's not a bum. But man, John Taylor, what are you doing? You had a 41-yard touchdown and you just drop it. Like, I don't know what the sensation is about players, running backs, receivers, whatever. They just want to drop the ball and flamboyant your way. No, I call it the Deshaun Jackson effect. Deshaun Jackson, I feel like that changed his trajectory as a player a little bit. He started the original dropping the ball before you cross the end zone type of thing. And he's a great player, don't get me wrong. But I feel like if that didn't happen, what would his career really be like? He's an all-time great in Philadelphia Eagles history, don't get me wrong. But on another trajectory scale, how would Deshaun Jackson be if he didn't make that boneheaded play against the Cowboys on Monday Night Football? Um, it's a bad play. It shows a lack of awareness, and it just shows it's about me instead of the team situation. Bad look, Jonathan. Bad look. Just cross into the end zone, give it to the referee. Old school NFL. I don't want to sound like the old man on the lawn, but get into the end zone before you want to showboat and do all that. Do the Deion Sanders shuffle like he used to do. Like, do something like that. Why do you have to like drop it down to prove what point? I mean, prove what point? Like receivers do that. I didn't. It's just a boneheaded play, and it costs a lot of people money, fantasy football in particular, some people. Just a bad look, horrible look. So he has opportunity to gain from that, but they needed that win. The Colts needed that win, and that was a play that I think they just took all the momentum away after that touchdown was removed. So Broncos are really good. Bo Nix had an awful game still, but their defense is really good, top tier. Picked them up on my fantasy football team, by the way. Great pickup for me. The Broncos are going to be a problem in the playoffs. They're going to be an issue. And it starts, this week coming up. I'm gonna get to the games this week coming up as well. Cardinals defeated the Patriots 30-17. The Patriots are the Cardinals. We'll see. Kyler Murray didn't really do that much. James Conner, of course, did his load, did his share, what he was supposed to do. But it was a solid win for the Arizona Cardinals. The game of the week, I probably should start up this game. I'm sorry. I was just going through all these games. The Buffalo Bills defeated the Detroit Lions 48-42. The highest scoring game in NFL this year. Josh Allen is MVP. You can just go ahead and book that right now. MVP. Detroit Lions defense it's not good right now. I mean, they got a lot of injuries, and I want to be sympathetic to what they're going through, but their defense, whew, it's a lot of shuffling going on in there. Of course, they're killing Dan Campbell for the onside kick, and it didn't work. I personally would have kicked it to them straight on, but he's like, "Look, we can't stop Josh Allen. I need to spark something up, something." It's a little bit of a panicky move, but if anyone's gonna do it, it's between him and Nick Sirianni. So, I'm not really. It's in his DNA. So, Detroit Lions are still a good, great team. They're going to be a problem in the playoffs years to come. They're here. Buffalo Bills are Super Bowl bound. I really honestly think if I'm going to bet it right now, if I'm going to put the two teams that I feel like is going to be in the Super Bowl, the Buffalo Bills and the Philadelphia Eagles. That's what I think. Let me know what you guys think of the Super Bowl. You think Super Bowl prediction, but I think Buffalo Bills, Philadelphia Eagles, Super Bowl down New Orleans. My honest opinion. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers just clown the LA Chargers 40-17. Mike Evans connection and Baker 2 touchdowns. Typical Mike Evans picks a random, start of fantasy football playoffs and goes off. It's just Mike Evans. He's one of the all-time greats. He can get another 1,000-yard receivers. He needs to average like 84 yards the rest of the way to get it. He'll get it. You don't know. We don't know. They play the Cowboys this week. Good defense. We'll see. My Philadelphia Eagles, Yeah, I had to wrap this out a little bit. Defeated the Pittsburgh Steelers 27-13. It was a defensive. I want to say, of course, to start off the Jalen Brown situation. It's a problem, but I wish, like I said, it wouldn't have come out. They're great friends. They've been friends before AJ Brown was traded to the Philadelphia Eagles. I just wish it would have stayed in the locker room. There's some rumblings. I mean, I get it. The friends go through peaks and valleys. Everybody goes through peaks and valleys with friendships. Um, I think it just should have, like I said, stayed in the locker room. I love Brandon Graham. He's a dog. He is a dog, Brandon Graham. But I wish he would have kept that part privately, instead of blab like he said on his podcast or press conference or whatever it was. I wish he would have not said what he said, but he did. Can't really take back what you said, but they're going to work things out. And they did Sunday. I mean, yeah, A.J. Brown with his touchdown, had 100 yards receiving. Jalen Hurts, 290. And like I said, A.J. and Devontae Smith each had 100 yards. It's one game, I get it, but it's a work in progress. Only those two can fix the problem moving forward. But I think they will. I think they'll be all right. I think they will find a way to come together as one, and it can make them better. They might be the only team I know that can have disagreements and arguments. And of course, you saw when Nick Sirianni, one of the players got a penalty, and Nick Sirianni just got on him, lashed at him, and all. This might be the most toxic team in the NFL. I want y'all to let that sink in. The most toxic team in the NFL could possibly be the Philadelphia Eagles because they just thrive under drama. They love drama. It's like they sleep on it. They wake up on drama. They go to work with drama. Like they love drama. So I'm not necessarily too concerned about it, but it's like, I mean, they won. So I think the turning point, of course, is Najee Harris fumble. I think that was definitely the turning point of the game. I mean, they were driving and then bam, he fumbles. First fumble of the year for Najee Harris, great player, but he fumbled at the wrong time. Um, for the Pittsburgh Steelers, the concern, I feel for the Eagles as well. AJ Brown got hurt. Time would tell if that was a really significant injury or not. We'll find out this week coming up. But TJ Watt's injury, that could be a concern for the Pittsburgh Steelers. They have a marquee game coming up this Saturday. Let's just see how this plays out. Could this, Russell still has it a little bit. I don't think it's prime Russell Seattle, but he still has it. George Pickens didn't play. Let's just see how it rolls the rest of the year into the playoffs. I mean, they're a playoff team. They clinched the playoff spot as well. So let's see how that plays out. Sunday night football game. Green Bay defeated Seattle. Geno got hurt. Interesting to see how this plays out for the NFC West. It's still a wide open division. The Green Bay Packers are legitimately good. Jordan Love is legit good. Let's just see how they play out the rest of the year. The two Monday night football games. Minnesota defeated Chicago 30-12. Smothered the Chicago Bears. Chicago Bears have a lot of problems. They got to figure out between a year who is the coach going to be. Caleb Williams, the offense, the defense is okay, even though they gave up 30 tonight. But interesting to see how that will play out for them. Minnesota's legit. Sam Darnold. I keep waiting for Sam Darnold to be like Sam Darnold in the past, but it's not happening. Like Sam Darnold is getting much better and much better. He's improving. And that's what you want as a quarterback that's been through a lot in his career to overcome what overcame through and to be better. So he's definitely doing that in a very good, positive way. And the Atlanta Falcons overcame their slide. They beat the Las Vegas Raiders 15-9. This between them and Tampa Bay for the NFC South is going to come down to that. So they did what they had to do. Their defense showed up and showed out against, even though it's a pedestrian Raiders team, they still find a way to win that game. All right, quickly, let me preview some of the games that are coming up this week. I would definitely say this though. This week, football games, college football, bowl games, the playoff games. There's a lot going on this week. NBA, there's a lot going on this week. I think I need a title this week. Do not get divorced week. Shout out to I don't know if it's Bill Simmons or the Ringer. Like they came up with the please don't get divorced week. This is definitely one of those. There's so much going on in sports. Um, almost it's funny. Don't get divorced week. It's funny. Starting off with Thursday night, the Broncos and Chargers. This should be a great game. Chargers are 3-point favorites in this game. Should be a good game. Saturday games, the Texans and the Chiefs, and the Steelers and the Ravens. Of course, I don't believe Mahomes is going to play. It's going to be Carson Wentz probably to the rescue, try uh to defeat the Houston Texans. The Steelers Ravens. This will be for the division. Baltimore's a 6-point favorite. How would they respond? Interesting to see. This should be a great. You know how the Ravens Steelers games are. They're just one of the best rivalries in the NFL, and I don't expect nothing more, nothing less. There are a lot of bad games on Sunday. A whole bunch of games I probably would not be as tuned into. Just red zone. Scott Hanson, be watching Scott Hanson. Of course, I would say I think one of the good games is Philadelphia Washington. I think that's a good game. My Eagles are a 3.5 point favorite. 48.5 is total. You want to add the Washington on the money line, one plus 145. That should be a really, really good game. I mean, these other games are just not great. They're just not good. Um, so I really don't want to waste anyone's time talking about it. The Minnesota Seattle game is going to be good. That's a good game. It's a 3 o'clock. That's the late tip. The Vikings are 3 point favorite going up to Seattle. That should be interesting. How does Seattle respond after that letdown they had last Sunday night? Now, before the season, I kind of thought there was like 49ers Dolphins. That should be a really good game. Both of them are 6-8 right now. I definitely think this is definitely whoever loses this is out. They're not even in contention at this point. They're both semi in contention. It's in Miami. Miami is a 1.5 point favorite. Let's just see how this plays out. The Sunday night football game. Well, I'll just say name all the other games on Sunday. Rams Jets, Giants Falcons, Arizona Carolina, Browns Bengals, the Titans and the Colts, Lions Bears, the Patriots Bills that's the late tip. Josh Allen's going to probably go for 1,000 yards. Jaguars and Raiders battle for the #1 draft pick, I feel like. And so that's all the other games. I just had to announce it because I guess it's my due diligence to announce all the other games, NFL. The Sunday night game, Tampa Bay, Dallas. Tampa Bay is a 4.5 point favorite. Like I said, they're fighting for the division. They need to win this game, but the Cowboys can play spoilers and possibly win this game. Let's see how that plays out. And the Monday night football game, the Saints and the Packers. The Packers are 13.5 point favorite. They should not play around with their food. They should probably dominate that game. All right. I also mentioned some of the bowl games that are coming up. Of course, Memphis and the West Virginia game is tonight. Friday night, Ohio, Jacksonville State. That's an early tip, or early kickoff. I'm sorry. Tulane, Florida. That's at 2:30 on ESPN2. And so let's get into it. The opening round of college football playoffs start. It starts with Indiana and Notre Dame. I'm gonna be completely honest. Every time Notre Dame is really, really, really good, like something happens with Notre Dame, like playoff bowl games. Something always happens to Notre Dame. I can't explain it. I don't really know how, but Indiana gets slept on, and they got slept on all this year. They only have one loss. They got slept on all this year, Indiana. If I'm a betting man and I'm a high roller type of guy, I'm rolling with Indiana on the money line plus 230. I'm rolling with him, and it's gonna be not to be the weather person, but it's supposed to snow. It's supposed to snow down in South Bend, Indiana, or South Bend, Notre Dame. The Indiana, no, but it's supposed to snow in Notre Dame. That's gonna be a fun game to watch Friday night. I'm excited to watch that. The Saturday slate, SMU Penn State. Now I know people want to clown SMU for getting into the playoffs. How SMU barely played nobody. Penn State, we know how good they are. We know how good James Franklin coach. We know that. Something tells me this could be upset alert special. This could be an upset alert special, but I don't want to be too tricky. I don't want to be too cute about this. I'm rolling with James Franklin. I'm gonna roll with his defense. I'm gonna roll with Penn State, but I'm really scared. Really scared about this matchup. But I'll roll with Penn State. I roll with Penn State in this game. Um, yeah, South Dakota, North Dakota, South Dakota in the FSC semifinals, and of course the other one's Montana State, South Dakota. Whoever wins those will play each other in the championship, Division II championship. Clemson, Texas, Dabo. against Texas, against Steve Sarkisiak. I know I can't go against Dabo. Dabo's such a great coach. I get it. Great year for Clemson. Under the radar type of year for Clemson. Don't get me wrong. Under the radar. Yeah, Texas is different. Texas, like, they're good. They're a powerhouse. We get it. Hook 'em horns. They a complete letdown against Georgia in the SEC championship game. Complete letdown. With the backup coming in. Complete letdown. I'm rolling with Texas to win. Ewers, I expect him to bounce back, or Archie Manning, one of the two. I expect Texas to roll in that game. Uh, 11 and a half. I can roll with that. I say Texas wins that game. And the nightcap of the first round games, Tennessee, Ohio State. I can't wait for this. This is the game I look forward to watching Saturday night. Ohio State's a 7-point favorite. Supposed to be cold at 20 degrees. Perfect running weather for the best running back in the SEC. I think he's going to dominate. I think Nico's going to dominate. And Ohio State, it's just it's was one of those things. I'm sorry. Like this Ryan Day, great guy. I don't think he's going to be the coach. It's necessarily next year. I don't know, but I'm rolling with UT. I'm rolling with UT to win this game. Cold game though. Don't get it twisted. I know people in Knoxville are used to cold. I get it, but I'm rolling with Nico. I'm rolling with that running attack to get it done down in Columbus, Ohio. What you guys think about the playoff games? The playoffs are here in college football first round. What do you guys think? What bowl games you guys look forward to? Let me know what you guys think in the chat. And do you roll with my picks on the college football first round? Of course, I got Indiana with the upset. I'm gonna roll with Penn State. I'm gonna roll with Texas, and I'm rolling with UT to get the job done in the first round of the college football playoffs. Let me know what you guys think in the chat. Do you roll with me, or do you got other selections and all? Let me know what you guys think in the chat. All right, you guys, that will conclude another episode of the Throw It Down Big Fella podcast. Please, you guys, subscribe to my podcast on YouTube at Throw It Down Big Fella. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. Happy Kwanzaa. You guys just go out and enjoy with your loved ones, family, and friends. It's a great time, wonderful time of the year. I will be back with you guys before the end of the year for my very special episode of the year in review, 2024 year in review. A lot of things have happened this year. A lot of things, from sports to political, entertainment, just a lot of things going on. And I will have a special guest, you guys, to be determined. But I will have one more episode before this year is out to recap the amazingness that has happened this year in the year 2024. That would do it for this wonderful episode, you guys. I am your host, Greg Rufus. I will see you guys next time. Until then, peace out.
Throw it down, big man.